Are they all here?
All but one.
Well, I'm going anyway.
I'm the best at what I do.
You're listening to the Think Tank Podcast
Look at that fucking smile on my face.
with your host, Tank Sinatra.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, did you start?
Yeah, you missed the intro, dude.
Sorry, bro.
It was a custom one for you because I gave you a shout out on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I apologize. These. Oh,
No, I'm
here we
lying.
go.
I'm lying.
I
You
know.
good?
Here we go.
You're
I
all
think.
set?
Yeah. I think that I'm happy to be at Gas Digital. I like this place.
Don't say anything.
No, it's
I'm not-
great.
Oh no, this is a positive podcast, right? It's great.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys like to get wild. I have, I wanted to say who's here first. For those of you who know, obviously, you know the voices, Yannis Pappas and Chris Distefano.
Yeah.
Of the History Hyenas podcast, fastest rising podcast in the world.
Yeah, and if your listenership is in Long Island, then yeah, they
Big.
know us. They know us.
Also, the biggest.
Not so big in, middle
No.
America. They don't like
Not
you guys.
yet.
biggest transgender community out of all podcasts is us. We have the biggest transgender listenership, we were told.
Cutie community.
Yeah,
Cutie community is mostly transgender.
Yeah.
we they did a Gallup poll for us. Gallup poll was interested. They wrote a nice review on us because they read a New Yorker article about us, and then we were also in the Times, and so then they decided to do a demo check on us, and it's mostly transgender. Our fans.
Great. I just want to also.
Are you lying or not?
No,
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 we're
no,
lying.
just-
No, we have the biggest transgender fan base. We said it on The Fighter and the Kid.
I know,
and
I
that's
heard you
not
say it.
debatable.
No.
I also just want to give a shout out to plant-based. I'm a PBF, a plant-based.
We don't have a Wei Zhang
I know, but that's why I know to not say it. But my
Okay.
cholesterol is the lowest it's ever been. I don't have an STD. My prostate is within normal ranges, and I'm STD free. I do have a slightly elevated blood pressure, but it could be from sleep apnea, according to Dr. Francois.
And also his vote changed from Trump to Bernie.
Yeah,
happened.
no, that will
No.
never happen.
That
This
happened.
is what we were going to announce: vegans for Trump.
Vegans for Trump.
Yeah, which is going to blow people's minds.
Because Tank Sinatra, whose real name is George.
Yeah. So
I
history.
like you have a World War II name.
Yeah,
George.
George is a WW2 name.
Oh yeah, 30%.
yeah.
Because you got beautiful, gorgeous eyes,
You
and
do.
your nose to eyes ratio
Here
is
we
just
go.
perfect, and you're a handsome. No, you seriously are a handsome kid, and you're jacked, and you look like you're one of those jack guys, but you look like you got clean underpants on.
Yeah, you have a no fumes kind of vibe.
You
to
do have a no fumes, but
Yeah.
I'm not Korean, but I don't have any fumes. Which
Yeah.
go figure. I may be part Korean.
the only thing that's
Yeah.
working against you being here is they won't allow you to have a Patreon because Lewis is a dictator. That's the only thing. You'd be making a lot of money if you had a Patreon, but you're not allowed to on this fucking thing. That's why Mike Vecchione is a roommate.
I'm allowed to.
Nobody's laughing because they know it's true. They're the help.
But you
Wait,
But
can't.
Lewis is what But as long as Lewis is making money to buy more ketamine, who cares?
But you can get the first 15 episodes if you give $45 a month.
yeah, maybe if they start letting you get a Patreon, Jay will have enough money to get fucking fingers for his gloves.
He'll finish his gloves.
He'll just finish his gloves off.
Yeah.
We're doing the bonfire later tonight.
Is that
Yeah.
what it is? He couldn't
Yeah.
buy the
He
rest of
couldn't
the
finish it.
glove.
Yeah.
Couldn't finish it. That's why, because he doesn't have a Patreon.
Right.
Shannon, you get 3 minutes has just got to be scrapped.
Shannon's so thin, she doesn't have enough money to eat.
Yeah.
She can't have a Patreon.
I'm also plant-based.
Whoa, we're a couple of plant-based pussies.
You look thin too.
Well, I have AIDS.
Oh, well, you said you had no STDs.
I lied. Reality is just a suggestion when we're here.
Whatever you want.
I'm
Whatever you
sweating
want.
already. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm plant-based. True.
History Hyenas.
Yeah.
Very light on the history, heavy on the hyenas.
Getting more,
Right?
getting heavier on the history, though. Our last episode, Napoleon Was Wild, was heavy history.
Yeah.
I want to credit you guys. I know this is probably not 100% accurate, but the word wild has really
We invented it.
It's
Yeah.
entered the lexicon in a way that you guys, I think, kind of pioneered, or at the very least saw the writing on the wall, because everybody says everything is wild now.
And you know why that's from? I have to give a shout out to the Mrs. Distefano, my mother.
Yeah.
She was the one, she's been saying, isn't that wild since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But not in the way we say it. She's,
So
you know.
she knew.
Yeah, she's not being like, oh, genital warts are wild. That's
So
what I'm
She
saying.
was more like, there's a lot of minorities moving into the neighborhood. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I can't believe my tax money has to pay for these people to buy more Fanta. Isn't that wild?
Isn't that wild? Yeah. So that's more of the context she was going for.
Wait,
I gotta
Sean,
drive all the way up to Putnam County while these are sitting here just collecting checks.
So I like
Isn't that
to,
wild?
Isn't that wild?
I like to start off the episodes by reading a review from iTunes, and I found a special one.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, just to give people a shout out that take the time to write a review.
Is it the one that called me a cadaver and I come alive once in a while to say character piece? That's
No.
my favorite.
Close. So I first heard you on the History Hyenas podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Smithtown Water. I know Chris. I met him on Grindr. He said it was a character piece when he met me. He threw me on the love sack and kept saying Wei Zhong Xin and something about Yaya's cookies. But when he came, he yelled Trump 2020 and threw me out of the apartment. I've sent him 4 separate pictures of my butthole, and he has seen all 4 but responded to zero. I don't think this is a review.
That's Phil. Yeah.
That's Phil?
Yeah.
That's Phil. It's my
Okay.
friend Phil. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Phil.
Yeah, that's a good thing about where I'm at now in my life. You know, I guess being 35 and not being embarrassed to care about anything is I'll just, even though that didn't happen, I'll just go on record and say it did happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Just say I got banged in the ass by a guy named Phil in my love sack.
So here's what you guys have done, which I'm fascinated by, because only you and as far as I know, Chris D'Elia has, and we talked about this the other day, but made like this fucking cohesive community based around a lexicon that only you guys use and only you understand. Or heavy listeners, to the point where when I listened to you on The Fighter and the Kid and Bobby Lee's podcast, you guys had to explain everything every 2 seconds because nothing made any sense. They were
Right.
like, why are you saying ladder 14? And you had to explain it over and over again.
I just got a message, and I was responding on the way here. Somebody said, I got everything. It's almost like you have to go to like History Hyenas school to get you got to listen to all the episodes and figure it out. It's like a puzzle to figure out what the words mean. Some guy just messaged me and said, I got every single word except Clyde Drexler. He's like, what does that mean? And I didn't tell him. I said, go listen to the Bill Burr episode. That's when it was invented.
You were good at the wrong time.
I responded and explained it. So
Yeah.
we need to communicate.
Oh, you told him?
I told him what it meant. I retweeted it.
Sandra D is Middle Eastern people?
Yes.
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 I just got that like maybe last week.
Yes.
Yeah, because
For no reason. It's just because Sandra D is a character in Greece, and we thought it just happened.
it's because they live in the sand.
Sand.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or it's that one. Or it's that.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want to look at.
So you guys are just saying whatever you want and no care for anything.
We have a policy. Our policy is basically the same as the president's. We say is so many wild things you can't pick one out.
Yes.
Is that for real?
Yeah, good luck trying to find something offensive if everything is offensive.
Yeah, and also if you're offended by what we're saying, then that's fine, but you don't listen to comedy then, because
Yeah.
we're funny first. We're trying to be funny first. There's no ill will. We don't hate any group of people. We love everybody. That's why we're just joking around with everything.
Yeah.
So it's like if you find us offensive, it's like fine. What I don't care. I mean, then don't listen to us. It's no problem.
You do a good job.
Yeah, well, we just because we're coming from a place of love. We're just kidding. There's nobody that we
Love and a tinge of racism.
that we dislike.
I mean, there's definitely there's some, maybe not hatred,
joking,
but
no.
So you guys have like this you've mentioned it on the podcast before, this charm that like just, it's like you really know somehow in your DNA that like you guys are not hateful people at all, but you do say some crazy shit.
What can you do? You know.
We're good liars. You
But
know,
that's
we're
the thing.
good. We hide it well.
It's wonderful.
But that's the thing, you know. It's like, okay, so we say stuff, but then like, we're just trying to make people laugh and make people happy.
But guys,
we've never gotten one negative review about
no,
us.
and the least hateful people hide it the least. But the ones who are the most hateful hide it the most.
You guys are also very much the same off the podcast as you are on the podcast,
Sure.
which is huge because I've met people who seem to be very positive and inspirational and helpful on Instagram, and then I've met them in real life and been with them, and they'll record a story that's like the most positive, uplifting shit, and then it's back to like
Like
a
whoever
weird
has
conversation.
Whoever
happening.
has Tank's Good News pages like that. Yeah, you go
Definitely.
to that, you
They're
feel
hot.
real good. Then you meet the guy, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking beat you in the head."
hiding something for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, for sure.
For the right reasons, I'll beat somebody up.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
few reasons.
I feel like you're a guy you can fight, and you can hurt a kid, but you won't.
I don't want to.
I don't think you want to.
I would feel bad. I've been in fights. I feel horrible. It's a lose-lose situation. Either you get your ass kicked or you beat the shit out of somebody and you feel terrible. And I think about that more. I've been in fights where I hurt people and I would just think about it for like 3 months thinking,
Right.
what if this went wrong? Or what if I punched them or threw this,
You could punch me through.
How old are you now?
39.
39.
Great age.
Yeah,
Also,
good
it's tough. Like when you get to that age to fight someone, you kind of want to have a conversation beforehand, find out their blood pressure, their weight, what their triglycerides are. Like you
sure,
don't want to
yeah.
get in blindly with someone. You want to be like, is this? I'm going to be able to fight for a minute 25. I want to fight someone who can
That's
fight
a
for
long
minute.
fight.
That's a
Yeah.
long fight too.
Yeah.
You
That's
got to
a long
think, do you
street
have
fight.
health insurance? Like,
Yes.
how bad do you want to do this? Because
Yes.
there's repercussions now.
Right.
Major repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them, whatever. Who cares? I'm not going to get in any fights.
Did you get the flu shot or no?
No.
I got it today. I shouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, I would say so. I got one when my son was born because we had to.
Right.
But that's the first time in my entire adult life that I had to get it.
Yeah, I didn't want to get it, but the
Why'd you
fucking
get it?
doctor made me get it. They pressure you into doing it at the doctor's office. They tell you why you should do it. I'm just an idiot. I also had to pee, and I just felt like...
Do you feel bad now?
I feel just, I don't want to... I just wish I didn't get it, but now it's nothing you could do.
My wife got it, and she got pretty sick.
I know.
Wait, why? So why is it bad?
I don't know.
It can be bad for certain people. It's not bad for everybody, but certain people have a bad reaction
You can
to
get
it.
sick, or there's just like, I don't know.
They're injecting you with a low-grade form of a disease. That's why. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's what all vaccines are, but
Exactly.
still, I don't know. Because you know how what he did, he fucking was like, oh, but you're around your daughter.
Yeah.
So, you should, if you weren't around children, I would say don't do it. But because you're around your kid and she's small, you should get it. You can pass it to her. I'm like, fuck.
But if you get the flu, they can't fix it. Like you can die. Can you still die from the flu in 2020?
Sure. Pneumonia. It's all about pneumonia, babe. They still can't cure pneumonia.
Babe.
Pneumonia, babe. Fluid in the lungs. That's still a thing that'll get you.
That's why I quit vaping.
Right?
So much fluid in the lungs on a constant basis. Just constant
You
water
had
vapor.
wet lungs?
1,000. I had to have. I couldn't breathe.
Really?
But they tasted like berry smash or something.
Fruity cereal.
Yeah.
The best. So good.
Those. It was funny whether they tried to say it wasn't aimed towards kids. We're not marketing towards kids, but
I don't think it
You
is.
can vape fruity cereal flavor.
Here's why I don't think it is. Because when I quit smoking cigarettes, which I picked up after 10 years of not smoking, I went to Las Vegas with my wife. We got a pack of cigarettes. I was back to pack and a half a day. When I went in there, I said, I just want the regular tobacco-flavored vape juice. And the guy goes, no, you should really get something really sweet so that way if you smoke a cigarette again, it'll taste like shit. It'll taste even worse than you remember it.
Right.
So I think it really is about getting the people who smoke off. But, of course, bright colors, fruity cereal. I mean, everything is marketed, at least to the inner kid in us, in adults.
Everything's marketed to kids.
Dunkaroos is coming back.
Can't wait.
Almost back, baby.
Do-it-yourself Oreos.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Sugar is the biggest. I mean, that's the biggest problem that we have
Well,
in life. I mean, just in life. I mean,
there's
that's
so many problems.
That and a lot of Muslims in the country.
Yeah,
Those
that.
two we got to tackle both independently.
Yeah,
Muslims eating sugar is a
that's
huge
bad.
Now you got a situation.
A Muslim eating sugar that's going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Get him out of here.
Yeah. Then we got a situation.
And then run for Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't treat my boy Trump good last night. But what can you do?
Yeah.
What was that? The State of the Union address?
I can't watch. I just can't watch. I can't watch the constant clapping for
Me either.
anybody. I'm like, just shut up.
And did you see Nancy Pelosi ripped up the speech
because he wouldn't
afterwards?
shake her hand. I mean, both of it is both sides stupid.
It's
Any extreme is stupid. They're all extremes.
But it's become very theatrical now, which is scary. That it's not about words or policy anymore. It's about ripping up the paper, and then all the articles were about her ripping up a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Instead of what he actually said.
I mean, anything. It's just
Yeah.
she ripped up the paper. Go, girl. I just saw owned him, drag him.
Yeah.
It's all that.
Then I'm watching The View, and they go,
Why?
Because I visited my mother this morning, and then
And I made her put it on.
yeah, they made
good
put it on.
excuse.
Yeah, and then they talk about I guess Trump had given a scholarship to a young black girl, and then he did something with the Tuskegee old Tuskegee war veteran.
Yeah.
And on The View they were saying that he's just trying to get the black vote, and they could see right through him. I'm like, he's just doing a good thing for somebody. But,
yeah, I've had that conversation with people. They won't. Once they cast him as the villain, everything is filtered through that, and
Right.
everything becomes. But that's what happens with his supporters too. He says something crazy. They're like, I didn't mean that. It's like, no, he did mean that, but he also did something good for people. Let him. When he got elected, I mean, when Bernie Sanders, I don't even want to get into this, but I really like Bernie Sanders. I think he's a servant and he wants to help people. He's nuts. And he's probably not gonna have a chance because he's just so out of control with his delivery. But I think he's a real public servant. And when Hillary Clinton fucking just stole the candidacy, I was like, that's it, it's done, it's over.
Right.
I don't care about anything anymore.
Right.
And
But don't pure public servants scare you a little bit? Because who's that selfless? Che Rivera,
I don't think
was
he's
a public
selfless.
servant too.
I think he just understands that people out here need help, which I understand also.
But I feel safe with a dirtbag. Because
Why?
at least you can understand it, Dirtbag, because he's selfish, he's self-interested. He's not being moved by some giant utopian idea. That's like, it's scary when someone's like, we're gonna, everything's gonna be great. Everything, you're going like, that guy's scary. I like a guy who's more in the gray zone who goes like, you know what? I gotta make things good for people for political reasons.
That's
but
normal people.
I like
not
normal
politicians.
people. Yeah, I like it normal people. Because look, Stalin said all those great things, and we're gonna figure every worker's gonna eat. And it's like Che Rivera was like, we're gonna fix everything. Next thing you know, like everyone's in pogroms.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they got a different opinion than.
I don't trust anybody that wants to
be in charge.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Even if you're a great president, even though I liked Obama, but it's like, I don't know. The fact that you even want to do that is just something like, I don't know, guy.
Yeah,
you scare me a little bit. You don't scare me as much as anybody else who's wanted to be president. It's like, what are you, an egomaniac nut job?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you want to be in charge of all these people?
You have to be.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. In its own thing, it's a hard thing to be president and be a normal person, because most normal people be like, there's no chance I want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gotten so crazy. I just like my little country at fucking, my address with I'm in charge of it.
Absolutely.
My wife, my kids.
And your little country votes to the right.
Yeah, they do.
You're from a Long Island suburb, and you guys vote to the right. So that's the thing. And see, this is what it is. It's like, so it's Tank's good news, and it's like he's a great person. But if you find out he votes to the right, is that a problem now? Because I say wild things, but I start off every podcast by saying I love fucking Islam, and I support transgender bathrooms. So because I say that, according to Hollywood people, can I now say whatever I want? Because as long as I say Harvey Weinstein is bad, and I support Muslims, and I want to see more Muslim people and diversity, and I want to see more women of color. If I just say that, am I a good guy now? Even though if I say other things bad, that's what it is. Some fucking Hollywood executive that won't even shake your hands when you come into an audition because they don't want to get germs. It's like, listen, fucknuts. Okay, why don't you untie the children in your basement and shake my hand, because I just stuck it in my ass and I want you to smell my fingers.
That's based on a true story.
We needed to let that one breathe.
Well, that's just, I just got the flu shot.
So, wait. So, I also like that you guys are, speaking of Hollywood, you and a couple of other people in this area are just like, fuck it. Because you get it. You completely and totally understand that nobody cares about you.
Oh, my God. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about you guys except for you, the way you're going to care about you.
Yeah.
And you really don't need somebody to co-sign you, because you guys, your podcast, I've said it before to other people, it's like a drug. Like when I put it on, I'm like, oh, fuck, Wei Zhongshan. It just feels good.
You shoot it right in your ass cheek.
I listen to it like whenever.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good mood, bad mood. It's just, I guess maybe it's refreshing to hear people just not give a fuck.
Yeah, we appreciate, because I think it's like, the truth is like, we say we're just comedians. So it's like, instead of, we've come for both Yannis and I for years having it, what does this executive want you to say? What does this person want you to say? And it's never funny. They always make, that's like, I got a show in development right now. It's like, I don't care, whatever they want to do. I'm like, guy, if you want me to be voiced by a non-white, whatever you want me to do, if you want me to try to find out, I'll be voiced by Aquafina. Whatever you want me to do, you want Hassan Minaj, whatever you want me to do. Just, I don't care. I'm just trying to collect a paycheck from you, because the truth is, nope, your TV show is not going to help my career at all. I would like to get money, but it's like the podcast and the fan base is our fan base from our podcast, and stuff we do on the internet is what we really care and cultivate.
You guys started your podcast when? Like a year and a half ago?
Almost 2 years ago now.
Almost 2 years.
When you started it, did you feel like you kind of missed the boat a little bit?
On podcasting? Yeah, we felt like we were late.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's very common, I think,
Appreciate
for
it.
people.
Can I get a water? Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Smithtown water.
Shout out
That kid.
Smithtown Water.
Shout out that kid. Yeah, that's a good kid.
What happened there?
No, he's a good kid, that kid. Everybody, all these new kids look like they just like
Got out of the basement.
a little bit, yeah. But I know he's clean, but none of them look really clean.
Well, because he works at Gas Digital, and
You know what I mean?
they're all Lewis's sparring partners.
Oh, wait.
That's what it
Is this podcast on out there?
oh yeah,
Oh, great.
Yes, it is.
oh yeah, no, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I know everybody can hear.
When
it.
Lewis
Just
hires
kidding around.
people, he goes,
Cool.
You know how to work a computer? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about sparring with me on Tuesdays?
Thanks so much.
Thank you
man.
so much.
Appreciate it.
I love you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that kid. That kid definitely plays an instrument. I don't know what
Podcast is still on out there. Just
he plays an instrument. Well, I mean,
They get it.
Wait,
They
get
work
it. They
at
know
Gas
what it is.
Digital. You think they're gonna get offended?
they're all high.
I mean,
they're all
this kid
high
has no
anyway.
feelings. This
I
kid
mean-
hasn't felt anything since 1996. He's fully dead inside. He doesn't care.
This is
That's
like
why
a-
Lewis gets these kids.
This is like a boys and girls club for school shooters. You got to keep them here to keep them occupied.
Yeah.
So children can learn safely.
Yeah.
Oh man, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Pure via. What can you do?
What can you do?
Oh, that's some
What
fucking.
can you
That's
do?
some liberal shit right there.
It's some
Yeah.
it's
right?
some cuck shit.
You want to
might as
fucking.
well just
You want to
pour cum in
sweeten
my
low.
coffee.
You want to sweeten low or an equal.
I love meeting the man behind Tank's good news.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, a retarded kid flew today. And then you go meet him, you're like, these fucking liberal cucks.
Yeah.
We got to do
No,
something.
he's
about
liberal. Tank's liberal.
No, I'm joking.
I'm a fucking regular person who thinks about the way I feel about shit before I speak.
You're a great zone
That's it.
kid.
Period.
You're an
I'm
adult.
super great.
You know what was funny? One time we were watching. You can edit this out if you want to, but we were at Clusterfest. Me, Tank, his wife, and we were at Clusterfest. And it's like we're just sitting there, and all the Comedy Central executives are laughing. At John Mulaney's doing like 2,000 people, and Tank's just looking at Mulaney. He's like, I don't get it. And we're just like, because we're just normal people. We're just
Yeah.
like, he's great, but you're just like, all right,
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, I get it. But
I get it, but
yeah.
right.
Like
but we
it-
like a Bill Burr. Like we're laughing at a guy like that more.
There's no pain. There's no pain in it. It seems like
We
There's
laugh
no-
at the pain
it's
because
no-
he's a genius, but we laugh at the pain. Mulaney's a genius,
Yeah,
but
there's
we
no.
laugh at the pain.
There's no like. It's not connected to like.
It's a perfectly constructed stand-up set, which I know is
get it.
good. But like I've said to you, like Colin Quinn is probably my favorite,
best,
maybe
yeah.
of all time, just because he's so fucking sloppy and all over the place, but he's so polished at the same
Sure.
time. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe
No, I
why
get
I
it.
like that. But I don't know. I don't like comedy that's like super like.
That's like shiny and I get it.
The only special I ever saw that was perfect back to front that I could tell had been worked.
It's called
to
Blowing the
fucking
Light
shit.
on YouTube by Yannis Pappas.
Blowing. Have you hit 100,000 yet?
I did. I just wanted to plug it. Shameless.
Yeah.
All right, good. Was Chris Rock bigger and blacker? Was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Just fucking
So
absolutely.
that
perfect.
is. I mean,
But
he's a genius.
my previous favorite before that was Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx doesn't even look like he knows what his material is.
Right.
But he's so much fun to watch because he's just having
In and out
fun.
of the crowd. Yeah,
He's
he's great.
having fun, grabbing his dick. Like that
Yeah.
was. Is that part? Did you work that out in a comedy club in L.A.? No, probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham is. You know,
he's like he makes music comedy good.
little. I when I first saw him, I was like, I'm not watching that.
Right. He's
I'm not watching
excellent.
somebody fucking play a piano and sing. This is not 1995. You know?
He's excellent.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
So you guys came up around the same time in the New York City comedy scene, correct?
He came up earlier than me.
Okay.
He's a little older, but we've been besties since 2015.
Is that when you guys met?
No, we met in a previous life.
Okay.
So that was the first time we met. When we were both chicks.
You
That's
working
that's
for
a
the-
definite.
This was in
we
Germany.
connected on a very chick vibe.
On a chick level.
Germany,
So-
1932, 33.
I think another universe where we were just both dames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We co-hosted this show on MSG called The Bracket,
Yeah.
which was we had to film like 12 episodes in like 2 days, and it was wild, and that's when we really got to know each other. And it was really for like New York City construction workers. They liked it.
For the Knicks?
What?
For the Knicks?
It was on MSG Network. It was about like it was called The Bracket. It was like top New York sports moments. It's like, when you look back, first of all, if you look at us, Google Chris Distefano and Yannis Pappas, The Bracket. We're both fat fucks. I mean, we look like different people. I was sitting on the train once and some constructor was like, yo, you're that kid from The Bracket? I was like, yeah. He goes, I like what you and that Mexican kid do. He thought Yannis was a Mexican kid. So
And we got paid $5,000 total for the whole thing.
12
for 12
episodes?
episodes.
Yeah,
Wow.
for 12
I mean,
episodes.
the slime and sleaze coming out of that network is next level. But what can you do? They're fucking slippery little fucks.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was nice to learn.
Well, that's probably how many people saw it, too.
oh yeah,
5,000.
no, less than that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, a lot of people probably saw it. Nobody really remembered it, but they played that thing.
Oh, my
Like
God.
over and over and
shit.
over and over. It's just nobody watches
What?
MSG if the game's not on.
What an HD picture, too. Thanks,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
job.
Only one there was.
Yeah.
No, I wanted a picture of Chris on the train.
Yeah.
When the guy called him fat. You have
Oh.
that?
No.
I'm kidding. I
Oh.
know, obviously. Sorry.
We look like two kids who've never worn a button-down shirt before.
Yeah, I had
And-
full
You look like
tits.
you're at a bar mitzvah.
yeah, our shirts are too big.
I had full tits, and Giannis looks like Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, I looked exactly like Hannah Gepsy.
Yeah.
So you guys were doing comedy at the time, obviously, right? Already, and you had done Guy Code, and you. So
Right.
you're two.
I was famous to 16-year-old black kids.
And I was famous
No,
to
no,
only
no.
Latin women.
Yo, so you guys have had. So this is like a second coming, right? Because you guys have both had commercial success. Yours was a little different because it was internet driven. But
Right.
what happened with Guy? It seems like everyone on Guy Code is just fucking doing great.
Everyone's doing well. Yeah.
Right?
Well, it was a humongous show. It was actually bigger than some people think. Like, I remember we were doing college shows in 2013, 2012, 13 with the cast of Girl Code and Guy Code. It's like 7,000 person arenas full.
Wow.
Kids going nuts, have to go in through the back.
Was that
so
part
it was like when TV mattered.
That was part of it. Was like like at the end.
Yeah. It
That
was
wa-
at the end of it. Right.
That was part of like the being on the show, or was that something you guys put together yourselves?
No,
the
it was
tour?
being on the show. It was like they would, everybody's agents would make tours, and stuff like that. If it was on now, I mean, nobody would care unless it went viral on YouTube or something like that.
Some clip from the show.
Some clip from the show. Now it'd be a clip show, but it's pretty big. But still, I mean, I still, today somebody was like, oh, I think I know you've. Sometimes people still say Guy Code, but
My sister is a big fan from Guy Code of yours.
Oh, Long Island. So that's what
Yeah.
it was. It was black people. It was actually black people of any age, and young white girls from Suffolk County, Nassau, Suffolk County would recognize me.
Yeah.
From 2012 to 2016.
Because you're a handsome guy, they remembered you.
Maybe, yeah. Well, but the black kids would think I was Andrew Schultz. And then the girls would, yeah. Well, the girls knew me because I dated Carly. Really, a lot of things happened because I was dating the girl who with the red hair who all those girls loved, and so it
her and
really
I-
wasn't like getting a lot of pussy from that because they were like, you're somebody's boyfriend.
Her and I are from the same town. I don't know.
Comac.
Yeah.
Yeah, good town.
Which I didn't realize until like a year ago.
Also votes to the right.
I don't know which way it votes.
Nah.
I have seen a bunch of people on Facebook start to post pro-Trump shit, and I'm like, ugh.
Long Island solidly to the right. Long Island, Staten Island.
You think
to the
so?
right. Yeah, for the presidential elections, Long Island and Staten Island lean right.
And the people on Long Island that love Trump love fucking Trump.
And you know what's interesting? Not that you can trace this all the way back, but I did read something and learn something through the history. Factually, like the more conservative, religious, well-to-do people who came from England to the 13 colonies in late 1600s, 1700s, they typically migrated to Virginia, so stooped and pretty conservative, and Long Island. Those were like plentiful places to go. So a lot of like the patriotism that you see on Long Island, a lot of the patriotism you see in Virginia, it's not all case, but it's like stems from that's where they came from in England. Where Boston, a lot of the poor peasants came from Boston. That's why it's a more like liberal. Massachusetts, it's more liberal. That's what one article I read kind of, it's not an exact science, but that is certainly true. The peasants went to Massachusetts and the rich went to Long Island and Virginia.
Yeah.
Because they had the colonies that were producing the most goods.
So now that you're talking, something happened on Long Island that actually eased up my stance on Trump. Not that I thought about the guy that much, but I just think he's a bad person. Anyway, I was on the phone with somebody and they were talking about, they said something about, we were having a conversation and he goes, and listen, I'm not racist, but my fucking daughter's not dating no black guy, I'll tell you that much. And I was like,
Right.
oh, you don't even know you're racist.
Sure.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
just think
they're
you don't.
idiots that
You just
way.
think you don't like black people.
Yeah.
I'm not racist. I just don't like black people.
Was
And
he Sicilian though?
I don't know. I don't want to say. And then the next day, I was
Because Italians, it's like you can't. That's just almost part of their culture to say
Possibly.
that, you know.
And then the next day I was at 7-Eleven and there was a pickup truck with like ransom style stickers on the back, Hillary for prison, Trump 2020,
Sure.
build the wall, whatever. And I was like, here we go. And I get in there and I knew who belonged to the truck immediately. As soon as I walked in, you could just tell who the guy was. And he was paying for his coffee with quarters. And I was
Sure.
like, you just tricked.
But the thing is,
That's it. You just don't know that you don't know what you don't know.
But we've spoken about this before. Certain people, you want them to be a little bit more racist. You prefer if they're a little bit racist. Like a firefighter, you want them to be racist. You don't want, because smart guys are not running into fires. That's just, if you're smart, you're going to Harvard, why would you want to fucking run into fire? So you want that guy, like if you're a 15-year-old kid out there, if you see a 15, 16-year-old kid yelling the N-word, give that kid a pamphlet, get them into the FDNY, because you want those kids just blind and dumb, running into crazy situations, cops, firemen, in the military. That's who you want. You would prefer if those guys are Trump supporters and a little racist. So it's like, that's what it is. Everybody wants everybody, like you mentioned, a utopian society. Everybody wants everybody to think the same way. It's not. You don't have balance that way. You need people to think. You need people to love Trump because they'll run into the fires.
Well, you said something on your podcast recently. I think it was the Schultz episode about countries being too big for socialism.
Yeah, well, Yannis said that.
And I remember it was two very recent close together experiences in restaurants. One restaurant I worked at was 4 people that were servers there, and it was a pooled house, meaning everyone pooled all their tips and made the same amount of money no matter what happened.
Right.
And it was great because if you walk past the table, the restaurant was so small, you grab somebody's drink, you pick up a plate off somebody's table, you run their food, whatever. Everyone was helping each other out. I worked at another restaurant about a year later where it was like 30 servers. Some people were working outside on a fucking patio, and some people were back in a room where they never saw each other the entire night. And it was a pooled house, and I left. And the Monday after I left on a Friday. The Monday after I left, they disbanded the pooled house, and everyone made double because motherfuckers were stealing.
Believe it.
Because they weren't seeing people all night. They didn't know who was doing what.
Sure.
So everyone was pocketing money. I wasn't, so I was getting fucked, and I was pissed.
Dude, I don't trust anybody that's like a social justice warrior or that like wants to always speak up for everything. I don't trust a fucking hair on their head because I'm like, what are you hiding, guy?
Yeah.
What are you really hiding? Because most people are like you. It's like gray zone stuff. It's like, I see injustices. It's like, I'll do what I can. But it's like, well, what the fuck?
Just not commit the injustices. That's really the best you could do.
It's
You
just,
know?
I mean, it's
Can't do
such
much
a
more.
rudimentary thing that has somehow been lost that, like, the worst people pretend to be the best people.
Right.
Nobody comes into a room going, like, I'm going to rob everybody in here.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the guy who's coming into going, I'm robbing everybody in here is not robbing everybody in there.
That's why you're saying you don't like a presidential candidate that's like, we're going to save everyone.
Right. And if you look at
Equality.
and you look at history, those people ended up being the worst. I mean, and by the worst, I don't mean like they didn't come through on healthcare. I'm talking about people ended up getting murdered.
Yeah.
It's just glossed over for some reason. It's like, I don't know why we haven't learned that lesson yet. Socialism is a good check on capitalism, but like capitalism is the most in line with human nature.
Incentive driven.
It's just the
Hunter
most in
gatherer,
line.
yeah.
With,
What do you want?
I mean,
Yeah.
what do you want, guy? I mean, what do you want us
It's
to
like,
do?
guy, what the fuck do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's like, you're not working hard. And yeah, I know everybody has advantages and disadvantages. It's like, figure it out. George Washington, we just did a whole episode on George Washington Carver, who was a great scientist. I mean, he was born into slavery.
Made peanut butter, right?
Yeah, well, they think he really did, and he just loved the peanut so much, and he really Kellogg, the guy who made Kellogg cereal, is the one who invented peanut butter, but it was Washington Carver's research. But
Oh, wow.
Washington Carver just like
What research? You fucking grind up the peanuts.
no, but he was like
you gotta put it in your ass, mash it up, shit it out. Yeah, that's how
he really talked about.
Yeah.
He really taught. He like really studied peanuts. He was obsessed with crop rotation.
Yeah.
and like different crops, and he just loved botany.
And also, a Native American tribe also invented peanut butter before him. So he's like credited with it, but it's not really him. He's more crop rotation.
Yeah.
George Washington. It's Nameen month. It's Black History Month. So we had to throw in a little fact.
Nameen month?
Nameen
Yeah,
month.
man,
We have,
yeah.
On the History Hyenas podcast, it's Nameen month, Black History Month, and we have episodes right now. George Washington Carver, Tiki Barber,
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz we'll close with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
So,
a
it'll be
black
good.
guy.
And Gary Owen.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your guys' Patreon is doing well, right? I want to plug that because I know you say this on your podcast all the time, but if people don't listen to it, then they don't know how much is fucking behind the Patreon paywall.
Patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. There's a lot of things behind that fucking paywall.
Saying there's a lot and seeing it is two very different things, though. It's like it's fucking a different planet behind the
don't
paywall.
know any Patreon that puts
There
as
are
much work into the
There can't
as
be
we
any.
do.
There can't be
It's
any.
a full other show behind that paywall.
Yeah.
It's a fully other thing.
We're working our asses off, you know, because we love our fan base, and our fan base is so loyal to us, and it's just it's an amazing reciprocal relationship.
You guys must love what you're doing right now.
Oh hell yeah, we
it's
fucking
great.
love it. Every day of our lives feels like a Sunday afternoon. And now we're starting to move some tickets. HistoryHyenas.com. We got live shows at the Gramercy Theater March 19th, and then Tuesday, April 28th or 29th, whatever that Tuesday is. We're doing a show on a Tuesday at the Wall Street Theater in Norwalk, Connecticut, at the Connecticut Comedy Festival.
Wait, there's just one show at the Gramercy Theater?
One show at the Gramercy, one show at the Wall Street Theater, and then we're moving tickets individually. Like, because the fans are starting to come. Like, I did Guy Code. I did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fans were trickled in,
Yeah.
but now, like, I'm adding shows at theaters because of the podcast.
Because the podcasts are the best because you're talking to somebody for an hour one way, of course, but they get to either really fall in love with you or hate you, and both are good.
Yeah, and it's in an hour-long podcast, it's hard for me. It's like, with Twitter, it's like you can tweet something out stupid. Podcast, you can say something stupid, but like if you really say something stupid and then stand by it, like you have an hour to get yourself out of trouble with it, and that's what we constantly do.
Yeah.
We'll say things that are fucking wild, and then by the end of it, you're like, yeah, but then they said a bunch of other things that cancel the other thing out.
It's like a double negative.
It's like a double negative.
Yeah, that it becomes a positive.
We're just trying to be. We're trying to make you laugh and have a good time. Like we're trying to be comedians. We have our convictions. We are three-dimensional real people. We get earnest sometimes, but it's a comedy podcast.
Yeah, and we're mixed bags.
We're mixed bags. We're gay and straight, but it's a comedy podcast. It's a history podcast second, but it's a comedy podcast first.
Yeah. And it's also like if you don't like history, that's fine too, because it's mostly comedy. Sometimes we talk about a lot of history, sometimes we don't, and it's really not to like.
You may wind up liking history listening.
Yeah,
to you guys.
because you learn
Make it
facts.
fun.
You learn fun shit about historical figures, and we've picked up things where like, wow, we didn't even know that to be true, and then you can apply it to your everyday life. I mean, certain things have helped me, like George Washington used to say why he was such a great leader is what his peers would say about him is because he was able to see things as they are, not as he wishes they were. Boom, apply that to real life. I was trying to see things as I wish they were, and now I see things as they are, and that's why I don't live with my baby's moms no more.
Yeah. And that's why you started focusing on the internet.
That's why I started focusing on the internet because I'm wishing that I want a television show to go on CBS. It's like, guy, nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I mean, you couldn't care. I couldn't fucking care less.
I mean, the views alone that they're getting are, I mean, I get more views on fucking Instagram than some primetime network shows get.
Most primetime networks, you get more views than most of them.
Yeah, it's nuts. Things have really switched on their head, and it's like, I feel so. You guys thought you were behind the 8 ball on the podcast.
We did, yeah.
I thought I was behind the 8 ball on memes. I wonder often what history is going to look like in 30 to 40 years. Like people that were on TV in 1952 was the guy like, listen, I don't want to quit my job selling vacuums in case this TV thing doesn't work out. And then, then it's Bob Hope.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who knows?
Rodney Dangerfield, sure. Yeah. I think that the podcast, I don't see how it goes away. It may change. Certain podcasts that are popular now may get old to people, and you have to keep morphing yourself. I believe that, but as far as podcast, I mean, why would that? I just can't imagine it could go away.
Well, there was a massive bubble, and when I started this podcast a year ago, I thought to myself, I know I'm getting in at probably the most annoying time for me to tell people, hey, I have a podcast. You want to listen to my podcast? You want to come on my podcast? Because everyone was getting asked by everybody. But now, even a year later, it's calmed down a little bit. And if I can ride out, and you guys can, which you will, ride out that storm and be consistent long term. Yeah. There's no way you're not going to win.
Well, because everybody has a podcast, but when we were in LA, somebody told, I forgot who told us, maybe it was like the people who produced The Fighter and the Kid, who are very reputable, were saying like 98% of podcasts don't get more than 2,000 downloads. So if you're a podcast getting more than 2,000 downloads, it's really not. So my point is like a lot of people have podcasts, but to actually be making money and your podcast to be like making a difference and actually being like worthy, it's really not that many. It's not too many podcasts that are like doing well enough to even count. So yeah, you're saying behind the 8 ball on podcasts, and it's like, it's true. Thousands of people have podcasts, but only hundreds of them are being listened to like throughout the whole world.
And they're all in different demographics.
All in different demographics.
Go figure. There's probably, I'm not even going to make up a number, but it can't be more than like, I mean, even if it was 100 comedy podcasts that mattered, I don't think it can't be that many. That's too many.
Yeah. It's probably 50.
Yeah.
It's probably 50 of them. But
and out of those 50, the top one, like I think people will get bored of, like you said, they'll get bored eventually of the, the biggest podcast in the world today. Eventually they'll be like, I've heard it before. I want to find somebody else.
Well, because it's like, it's all about being niche now. For me, it's like, it's about the more niche, the better. It's like, if you want to start a podcast, start it about like Xerox fucking copiers or something. It's like, it's not going to have mass appeal, but it's almost impossible to get now.
Well, but I don't think so, man, because you look at Rogan's been doing his podcast for over 10 years.
He's an anomaly, though.
I mean, but not only him. It's like almost everyone who's got a big podcast is still big. I mean, they're all big.
But that's because new people are discovering them all the time. I'm saying years from now, when the listeners cycle out, I'm not saying that it's definite, but what I'm saying is that in the meme world, pages that were huge when I first started have been the same size since I started, and I've outgrown most of them.
Maybe you're better than them.
Maybe
you're better.
Probably better than them. Is the fat Jew still a thing? Fat Jew, or is it fat Jewish?
Either or, interchangeable. He's
still got a massive page.
He started. He's got 10 million followers. He started
so
or 11.
You can't stop these guys.
He started that Babe Rose company.
Oh, huge.
And he sold it for an undisclosed amount. I think it was probably close to like 70 or 80 million.
I believe it.
That he sold it for.
I believe it.
And
then what's the other kid who got in trouble for the memes?
fuck Jerry.
Fuck Jerry. It's like, no, you can't stop these guys. It's like people are like, unfollow him. And it's like, that was for a week.
Yeah.
The girl who started that campaign
fine.
has become... I mean, she's like, at first I was like, good. All right, someone's sticking up for the original meme
now
creators.
she's like a piranha.
And then I was like, man, you need to stop. Like, this is fucking,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just trying to fucking cancel everybody all the time. And she's,
It
her and
doesn't
that,
work.
If it didn't work on Fuck Jerry, where that was probably the biggest, it was like, you know, celebrities, quote unquote, comedians, real comedians were posting about it. If that didn't work, it's not, nothing's going to
Like,
work.
remember Occupy Wall Street? It's like, what? Nothing changes.
No, well, that's what. When,
What are you talking
When
about?
Trump got elected,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say before. I was like, I remember Trump got elected, and I was still selling fence at the time, and I had to go give an estimate at a grocery store.
I
and-
love that you used to sell fence and then you started a meme page.
Yeah.
You started selling fence and then you were on Ellen.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's just what it is.
I mean, what a trajectory that is.
Yeah, because you look like a guy that sells fences, and you look like you come from a long line of guys that sell fences. and the fact that if your ancestors were like, this kid's on fucking Ellen right now,
Yeah.
it's got to be
They'd
wild.
be pissed. Yeah, they'd be pissed.
I mean,
So I went.
fucking live your dream, guy.
Yeah, living
Yeah,
it.
guy.
So I went to go give an estimate for a fence at a grocery store because they needed to fence off their whole property because MS-13 was dumping bodies behind the shopping center.
Yeah, well,
So I'm there. Trump gets elected. I'm the whitest person within 3 miles, and I'm measuring this fence, and it's all Spanish people. And I'm like, these people fucking, they're gonna kill me.
Right.
They really think like I'm the problem. I'm not the problem, you know?
No.
But then, I don't know. Nothing really changed. People got a little bit more annoying about shit because he's an unreachable figure that they're powerless over. So they take it out on people that they can kind of hurt a little bit, smaller figures or whatever. Maybe it's comedians, whoever it is. But that's really the only change. I don't know how much taxes I fucking paid last year. I have no idea.
Just this world we live in where, like, you know, and the common person doesn't even think about it, but it's our job to think about it. I was listening to Jim Norton, and he was so great on the Netflix Degenerates, and he had a bit, you know, that he does it so great, joking about it. But the premise was, it's true. It's like, you know, you'll cancel like a guy like a let's say a Shane Gillis for saying, you know, chink, right? That's it. Oh my God, put this guy next to Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah.
But then an award, a television show on Netflix making Ted Bundy look handsome and cool is winning awards. So it's
Yeah.
like you're glorifying a fucking serial killer,
Yeah.
and you're making it seem like he's not that bad of a guy somehow. But because I said
Well, it's
a
because it was
word,
Zac Efron. It's
right?
hot. It's hot.
Yeah. So it's like, what are you talking about? So Zac Efron,
They don't know.
and that's what he said. He said Zac Efron's making believe he's a fucking Ted Bundy serial killer.
Yeah.
But the other guy is playing a character and saying a word you don't like, but so you cancel him. It's bizarre, and people don't even think you're just zombies. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the Ted Bundy thing and fuck this guy for saying tranny. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
It's a wild planet that we live on. So Jim Norton really made me think about that.
I think we're swinging towards the end of the pendulum where we're going to have to come back to normalcy pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
I don't know if it's another year or 3 or whatever
I
it is,
can
but
still keep sucking cock for a little bit more while we're
just-
still in the wild zone.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it seems like
I mean, it's
no-
a swing, so you got another probably 5 to 7 years after it starts to swing back.
Got it.
That you can. I mean, I don't want you to stop sucking cocks,
I will never stop sucking cock. I may get my tonsils removed though, so I may have to take 2 weeks off.
so you can be better at it.
Yes.
Yeah, good for you.
Go deeper.
Yeah.
You know, if
committed.
if you look at history, what comes next usually is some sort of like hard line religious revival, because when you go so far free, that's the only thing that snaps you back. So I'm not looking forward to that, but we won't be here.
Didn't you say, what was it, Socrates? Who said, remember where you told me about it, where they said, you'll know the civilization is at the end when everything's okay? Remember we saw that?
Yeah, at the end when kids start acting like adults start acting like kids. There's no order.
Everything is okay sexually,
Yeah,
there's no rules anymore. People have forgotten about religion.
Truth is subjective. The whole
Because Greece went through this, and then they collapsed.
Yeah, they all
Greece.
Oh, of course.
It's a hard thing for people to comprehend, but Greece, I forgot what year, but we learned about this and there's an episode on the podcast. It might have been the episode where we talked about Battle of Crete, which is fucking wild episode. Go listen to that episode where, we're extremely liberal now, of course, but, this is still not the most liberal we've ever been in history. In ancient Greece, there was a time where, you could have sex with an animal in public and people are like, speak your truth.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Like, so we haven't even gotten to how crazy it's going to get because it's already gotten there and then it shatters.
That must have been crazy back then too. It was still
Orgies in the street.
It was still human beings watching an orgy happen in the street. People assume because there was no internet or TV that this was okay. Like I had a guy, Ryan Holiday, on my podcast and talking about like the present day Trump and whatever. He talked about this book that he read about a guy who traveled the country and he memoired and journaled. Brilliant writer, great, like observatory, and just really like took a lot of rich experiences from the country. And what was threaded throughout it was that it was during the Civil War. So people assumed that time period during the Civil War, the whole country was just fighting everybody. From every but it wasn't. People were still making shoes and fucking going to school and
there was still, and this is not fucking
same thing with the Holocaust.
Yeah,
everyone assumes that in Germany in the 30s it was just fucking Hitler and the Holocaust.
Yeah,
and there was people who were just like they still had to do regular shit.
Dude, right now in Kabul, if you go to Kabul, there's parts of Kabul that looks like Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The war is just not there.
Yeah,
it's in another part of Afghanistan right now.
Yeah,
or you go to certain places in Iraq. It's just what the media wants to show you. There's certainly a lot of things happening that are bad.
Dangerous,
but it's like, what,
It's just fascinating to me to think that
also our brains can't process that nuance that's that far away.
Yeah.
You can only process nuance that's in your life. You can't go like, wait, there's some good parts of Iraq. You're just going like, I don't care what's going on.
Especially when you're talking
show me
about
one
70
picture.
years ago or 200 years ago.
All right, it's all on fire over there.
Yeah.
It's like, and
who has time
that's
to learn about where the good areas are of Iraq,
I barely even know New York.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't even know where the good areas of the Bronx are.
Yeah,
I just go to the Bronx. I'm going to Yankee Stadium. I'm getting out of there.
When I'm driving through there, I just say, put your windows up. There's going to be a little turbulence.
Yeah, it's a little turbulence. It's not a smooth flight.
It's not a smooth flight when you're driving through the Bronx.
Yeah.
And what can you do?
Yeah. So you guys are selling more tickets now. Is more touring in the future? You guys, what's the point of the podcast is obviously to have fun and make money, but the end game for both of you guys is to build your solo careers end together or
Yes.
what?
Well, they feed each
Have
other.
you spoke about that?
They feed each other like so lovely.
Because we're both stand-up, so we're doing the podcast. So live podcast is definitely a thing now that people come out for and enjoy. Doing the podcast in studio is something people enjoy, and then we do stand-up. And nobody wants to watch us in a show anymore. Nobody wants to watch shows anymore. Like I used to love watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now there's a new season on. I can't even get myself excited. It seems contrived because our conditioning has changed. We want that genuine connection with someone now.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I did watch the most recent episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm last night. It was funny.
Yeah, it's so
He's funny, but I see what you mean.
It's the motivation
and you have to be Larry David level fucking genius now to get a few laughs in a TV show.
Yeah,
like anybody else, it's like this is a piece of shit.
But I'm talking no room for error, and error is where the funny is.
I'm also even talking the motivation to want to watch it.
Yeah,
it used to be like, oh, this is the only thing on. It's like HBO's the coolest thing on. Now you're going like, I could watch Larry David, or I could like just scroll my phone. And most people are choosing to scroll their phone.
And even like production wise, me, Yannis, Ashley, and Raina from the Girls Gotta Eat podcast, Shane Gillis, and Andrew Schultz to unveil Andrew Schultz's new studio. We filmed a sketch that was 8 or 9 people because some of Andrew's guys were in it as well. We filmed 8 or 9 people. Got the coverage, one camera guy in less than an hour. If that was television to film what we filmed, which I think Andrew's thing is approaching 1 million views already, which is more than any network sitcom would get, that would have taken a week to film that and cost $500,000. Where Andrew just was like, hey, come over. We literally were in and out.
It's already out?
It's out. It's on his Instagram.
Yeah, it's
already got, I don't know how many, but it had like 200, 300,000 views the other day.
And the guy one kid shot it. And he shot it horribly. And it's like 200,000 views. You could put a whole show together on the IFC for like $1 million budget. It's not going to get 100,000.
Dude, that girl Lily Singh, who was a big YouTube star, got a show on Channel 4, a late night show, and all the comments are her fans telling her she's a sellout and her show sucks. They just want to see her on YouTube with sloppy editing and sloppy camera work.
Yeah.
That's what the people that want to pay to buy tickets, that's what they'd rather see you like that.
Yeah.
Now, which is wild.
I was just on the phone with one of the biggest comics as far as ticket sales and all that.
Bill Burr.
Yes, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And he said, no,
Wilford.
he said, this is the only era where comics are losing money, giving up money to take high profile acting jobs.
Yeah.
Losing money. He was like, how wild is that? Just think about how crazy that is. Like, you get offered a part in a movie, you're going like, am I willing to lose all this money to go make this little money?
Like any comic you see that's really selling tickets, that's moving 2 shows a night, 3 shows, 3 shows a weekend at a theater. They're making $70,000, $80,000 a weekend.
Yeah.
Television, you're making $10,000 an episode that takes you a week to film.
Yeah.
So you're making $2,000 a day. These guys are making between $70 and $100 in 2 days to do live touring. Why? What's the incentive on the fucking? The only reason
and you don't have to have anybody.
Yeah,
tell
do you think you would have got on
Listen.
Ellen if you were a background player in NYPD Blue?
No,
it wouldn't have happened.
You made yourself do it. You came from those fucking MS-13 fences and you got right on that couch. Here's the only reason why I would do a TV show now. I would do a TV show now. I would do it if I got casted to do it. I would assume that they would listen to a podcast episode and I'd be canceled immediately for a stupid reason.
Yeah.
And then that would get my platform higher because my fans would say, fuck you. And they would say, all the podcasting fans and internet fans would say, fuck you. This is why I hate TV. My fan base would probably go twice as much and I would sell more tickets. So I would do a TV show in the hopes I get canceled and become a controversy because I could sell more tickets to regular people.
Yeah.
Who cares about the woke and dope anymore?
Yeah.
There's such a fringe level of society that Hollywood wants to cater
But
to.
they're so loud.
But
That's
they're
the
so
problem.
loud, but they don't buy tickets. Nobody cares because the actual people that are putting money in Yannis and I pockets are not them. So the majority are, yes, I know they're silent, but they will buy tickets.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, I'm not doing comedy on a fucking horse in my shorts. So if you don't want to come see my special, fine. I don't care. But actual comedians like a Bill Burr and guys like that, their fans will come out you can't cancel them. You couldn't cancel Louis. Louis's back doing comedy. His fans don't care.
Do you know how unemployed and disturbed you have to be like offended and following the bad things that a comedian says?
Yeah, they probably have Google alerts set for fucking the
most
N-word.
of the people are normal people, and those are the people that buy tickets. Normal people,
And they're all bullshit. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
None of us in this room agree. None of us agree with what Bill Cosby did. After he gets out of prison, would you go see him perform comedy?
I was never really a fan.
If you were a fan, would you go see him?
I don't know.
You don't know? See, I would, only because what do you want society to
And
be?
not because of what happened. It's hard for me to picture because I don't care. Like Jay-Z, everyone says he used to sell crack. I'm like, he's unbelievable. I don't care that he sold crack.
My point is this. All these people now that want to cancel everybody, like you said, the meme girl or whatever, they just want the constant cancel, the constant negative shit because that's the only thing that fuels their career. I look at it, I pay taxes into this society, and some of those taxes go to pay for the prison system. You serve your debt in prison, you give your debt back to society. You just got 10 years off your life for the crimes you committed. Now you're back in society. Welcome back. Carry on. I'll go pay. If I was a fan of yours before, I'll pay for you again because it's like, what? So what do you want?
Well, there's also,
so then just keep him in jail for life if you're always gonna. You're always gonna be that way.
That mentality of conflation and all sins are equal is really annoying and frustrating. Like Louis C.K. masturbating in front of 2 girls who we asked if he could masturbate in front of, and Bill Cosby date raping women for decades. Two very different things.
It's 2 very different things.
But they're not in the minds of the people who are of the cancellation white black.
It's crazy, actually.
No, but that's what I'm saying, because all those the reason why I brought up Bill Cosby as an extreme example is because all those people, those extreme, mostly liberal people, are for prison reform and get the wrong people out of jail and blah, blah, blah. But then when you get out of, you have someone who goes through the system because they don't like what your crime was, they'll say, well, that rule doesn't apply to you, still fuck you forever. It's like, you can't... because the truth is the only way to live is the gray zone. So anyone that takes stances either way, they're fucking stupid people to me.
It's too hard to think. That's
too hard. Nobody wants to do the work.
Well, thinking is hard for a lot of people.
Nobody wants to do it.
We got to wrap up, but we're introducing a new segment, and you guys are the first ones ever.
Wow.
Well, it's a new page, Influencers in the Wild on Instagram.
I love that page, by the way.
It's good. It's got like 600, 700,000, right, or more?
1.2 million.
Wow.
It's fun to watch.
1 million
That's what it is.
in 3 weeks. It's S-L-O-K-S.
It's S-L-O-K-S.
There's another page. Have you ever seen the page where there's boyfriends doing that? That's also a funny one.
Yeah.
Where like there's people capture boyfriends taking pictures of their girlfriends.
Yeah.
That's like your page for everyone.
Well, they started before me, but now they're stealing my content, so there's a little problem.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fuck them.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's licensed.
Fuck the boyfriend page.
Uh-oh.
So influencers...
It's a fucking meme beef.
Influencers in the Wild, new
Welcome
page.
to 2020.
Yeah.
New page, new segment on the podcast. My first segment ever, also.
Oh,
So
great.
I'm going to show you a video.
You
and
sell
I want,
out cock. With the segments.
I want you to watch this video and just imagine what's going through these people's heads right before the shoot, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Because it's interesting.
Okay.
We're all mentally ill. I mean, our society's mentally ill. I mean, that woman. The technology has allowed us to find the darkest, most mentally ill parts of ourselves and push those to the forefront.
Do you think that they went on the roof because they were like, "Yo, it's a roof. Nobody's gonna see us. It won't be a problem." Or because they liked the aesthetic of the roof with the sky in the background.
I think they thought the best way to get likes for your open asshole is if you have a touch of a skyline in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need booty and buildings. It's gonna bang.
That's what I think. I think he started a super, super niche page.
Yeah.
And that is like booty shaking on rooftops.
And this is not going to be on my page anymore because it already got reported once and I requested a review. And I reached out to my guy at Instagram and I said, is this normal for this to be reported? He said, you might want to take it down. So I'm going to take it down. So this is the only place it's going to live. This booty shaking building roof top building whatever building booty. I mean, it's one of the best videos I've ever seen because
it's fantastic.
And people are capturing so much more of this stuff because they're aware of it now. So they're looking for it. People screaming in the background is the best part of that video.
Let's just be honest. There's one thing I can tell you that's a fact about that video.
What is that?
Is that her father was not in the picture enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a definite.
At least physically, probably, emotionally as well.
No, when you get to that level where a guy's got his camera phone right in your asshole and you want to post it
at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. and you want to broadcast it out publicly on the internet, your dad hasn't called you in a while.
Your dad hasn't called you in a while, but also DM me, Christy Comedy.
Yeah, that's where you can find a home. You're always welcome.
Yeah, I love toots.
Yeah.
I got rid of the love sack.
All right, well, we got to get out of here. Christy Comedy on Instagram.
And ChristyComedy.com.
Yeah, Yannis Pappas.
YannisPappasComedy.com and Yannis Pappas on Instagram. History Hyenas on Instagram.
Yeah, we got a lot of live dates, so come check both our websites.
I love you guys so much.
Thank you for being such a big supporter. We love you.
We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and James Altucher, right?
Yes.
James Altucher and you, yeah.
Is he still?
He's still going strong.
Still paid, yeah.
He hasn't even noticed.
He's got so much money. He's such a wild guy.
Yeah.
It was probably an accident. Fucking, he Patreoned you guys.
Yeah, just $6,000 for the year. He doesn't give a fuck.
I think we brought it up to me. He didn't even remember. It was like,
yeah.
Enjoy it.
It's
enjoy
50?
it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming on. And
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Tank.
Bye.